So think about that. Have a stop loss for yourself. Otherwise, you'll keep going and going and going. All right, strategy. Let's just go over this. So first things first. The first thing I do, or the very first thing we do, is we check the news. All right, check news. If there's a red folder or a gray folder, you do not trade it for that hour. If it's red, we don't trade it for the hour, whatever hour that is. If it's gray, we don't trade it for the day because it's a bank holiday. All right, so Forex Factory, you check the news. If it's a gray folder, it means it's a bank holiday, so you do not trade the JPY or the Euro tomorrow. You won't be trading anyway tomorrow. Let's find the example of some news. So here you have a red folder at 12:30, so you would not trade AUD at 12:30. All right, that's pretty simple. So the first thing we do is check that. When we know there's no news, the first thing I use, I get the currency strength meter up. And when I'm looking for a trade, that's the first thing I look at, is the currency strength meter. All right, and I never trade against the strong currency. So if CHF is stronger than AUD, we're going for a sell. All right, I'd never take a buy in this instance. I'd never ever trade against a strong currency. If you're trading with a strong currency, typically you'll be trading with the direction of the market. This is just in a mad consolidation, but recently, you can see we're coming down. All right. One thing to just think about, one thing to just understand, and make sure you understand this because it makes more sense. And what this market will do to you often it will put you in an emotional state. All right. And you might want to write this down and affirm this. When emotion is high, logic is low. All right. When emotion is high, logic is low. So if you get dragged into a trade and you know you made a mistake and you lose the trade, naturally you're going to feel what? Pissed off. All right. Frustrated. Blah, 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 blah. Then you're more likely to make a mistake, to not think logically. You just go in again and again and again, and your strategy goes completely out the window. All right. When emotion is high, logic is low. So if you ever feel in an emotional state, like you're angry at the market, do not place a trade, do not do anything, take an L, walk away. All right. So let me move my phone because it's pinging off left, right, and center as always. Okay. So that's first things first. We always trade with the strongest currency. All right. And we never trade against it. And that's the first thing we look for. All right. Let me close this. Second thing we look for is these Bollinger Bands, right? So if price is in the red Bollinger Bands, we're looking to take it down. If it's in the green Bollinger Bands, we're looking to take it up. Now, just put a note next to that one. This is just an additional confirmation for me. I sometimes will take a trade, even if it is like where it is, for example. But this is the second thing I look for. So if I'm going to take a trade, ideally, I want to see it in or close to some of these bands. All right, so in this instance, I want to see price up near the red bands because NZD is stronger than AUD, which is telling me I want to take this down. In the red Bollinger Bands means we're coming down again. An arrow, forget the score. An arrow is another confirmation. Feel free to ask questions anytime. You guys can take trades. I'm just going to go over the strategy at the moment. So we're looking for a currency strength meter, Bollinger Bands, this was up near the red ones, a down arrow, that's another confirmation. Then the other confirmations are down here, RSI. Move this off my screen, move. Yeah, and the stochastic, so down the bottom. So if this black line is above the red, it's telling us we're coming down. If it's below the green, it's telling us we're coming up. All right. Cool. So we've got currency strength meter, red and green Bollinger Bands, the arrow up and down, then the red lines and the green lines. Very, very simple. You can word these however you want. You can just call them added confirmations, the bottom lines, whatever you want to call it. All right, but that's what we look for. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that's 5. The next confirmations for me are these little areas of support and resistance, which they actually put out for you. So I tried to do this last time and I failed miserably, but these, all right? These lines here, I use these as floors and ceilings for entries. So if we're looking for a buy, obviously we're looking to take it off here. As you can see, it tapped this and bounced off, tapped this, bounced off. And then same on the other side. We're looking for it to here. Look, you can see it wicked and then went down for a sell. Terrible drawing, but you understand what I'm saying. All right. So areas of support and resistance, or ceilings and floors, whatever you want to call it, for entries. And then the final confirmation is this S and this B, which is obviously B, buy and sell. All right. Does that make sense to everyone? Just put it in the chat. Some of you, this might be a bit boring, but whatever. It's important that everyone understands what's going on. So we have all of our confirmations. All right. Currency strength meter, the Bollinger Bands, the down and up arrows, the two confirmations at the bottom, RSI, stochastic, whatever you want to call it. Then floors and ceilings, support and resistance, and then the B and the S. This B and S is really your final point. All right. That would call a 7 point. But here's the thing, guys. You want to take a 5 point setup. All right. They used to say, oh, 3 points is good, 4 points is great, 5 is excellent, or whatever. I would actually change that completely to 5 points is good. I'd never take anything less than a 5 points. So, guys, I just want to go over what's going on in front of us. Did someone actually say this in the chat? And hopefully, no, they said something else. So, AUD CHF. All right, let's just look at this right now. So, CHF is a lot stronger than AUD, so we're looking for it to come down. All right, ignore the Bollinger Bands. It's nowhere near. Given a down arrow, you can see this clear level here. And if we went down the bottom, at the time it was up here, it would have been very, very probably up. It probably was just over the top, or as you can see, really, really close. So this was telling it's going to come down. And what just happened was, these are 5 minute candles. The first move pushed down. And that's why we do 3 minutes fixed time off. For those of you that trade, we want to get the first initial move of the candle and then be out the trade. That way, if we need the full 5 minutes, we can roll. But we don't want what just happened there is it tanked and then came back up. See that? Like we're already 2 minutes 50 in. We would have been cleared by now. So we would have took it off there, and we would have cleared. We'd have got that initial move without having to roll. So that's why I like to do 3 minutes fixed time off, because we're looking to try and get the initial move. If we do need a bit more time, we can roll, but then we don't just what's happening now, we wouldn't have affected us. All right. So, guys, if you want to trade, go ahead and trade. For those that are brand new, I know there's definitely 2 or 3 people on here that have never done this before and excited to get started. Hopefully you understand the points, all right, what you're looking for. It will take a bit of practice and a few sessions to kind of see what we're doing. That's why these sessions are here. That's what they're designed for. Now I'm going to quickly go over your trading strategy, all right, or your trading plan, should I say. I was on one of the new educator sessions the other day, and he basically said, you're a fool if you're not taking money out. And I wouldn't go that far as to say you're a fool, but I can't recommend it. I've said it so many times. Take money out of your accounts. Make withdrawals. All right? It's good for your mentality. And yeah, I just would be. So, I trade very different now. I don't trade for a weekly percentage as such, but I trade for an amount. All right? But you decide. Make sure you have a losing percentage as well. All right. So if you lose 2 trades, you're out. Or if you lose 1 trade, sometimes if I lose 1 trade, if I lose my first trade, I'll finish for the day because I have a long-term mindset. So let's just say your target, not your goal, your target is 10% per week. All right. So if you wanted a plan, you can just do this. Go onto the calculator site. I'll copy and paste this into the chat, and you can do this. All right, go on to that. Whatever your account size is right now, type it in there. All right, type in 10% per week for 1 year, compounding per week. So guys, understand this. If you've got £1,000 in your account and you go 2-0 on day 1, you don't change your account yet if you're going by this, because this is compounding weekly. All right, so you change it by the week. On the Monday, then you up your risk. All right, otherwise it would be daily. So you can get this. This is obviously not going to happen. Well, I say it's not going to happen. It's unlikely to happen like that you're going to hit 10% every single week, but that's the goal. And you can get this You can get it in a table, you can get it in a graph, and you can see the power of the compound effect, just 10% per week. You can do it over a year, or whatever. So you can take a picture of this and put it next to your laptop so that you understand your first month, guys, you're only going to make £255. It's fine. Because the next month you make this and this and this. But if you don't suffer, if you don't suffer making only £255 a month, which sounds a ridiculous thing to say, then you can't expect to get to these numbers. So if you're over leveraging, you're not sticking to the plan. So guess what? You don't get to experience this. End of. You just don't. You might get lucky one day, 2 days, maybe a week in a row, but it's only a matter of time until you get spanked. That's just how it is. So if you're not willing to sacrifice, let's just be real, your ego and make £255 and be humble about it, then you don't get to experience this. Does that make sense? Hopefully I'm really just being straight up, because I've been here, guys. I've crashed accounts. Like, I've done it. I've done it for you. As a matter of fact, some people have done it extra. One more for you, 2022, nothing crashes. There's no crashes in here. All right? So please print this out. Please have a plan and understand where you're going with this. It will make it so much easier. You'll stop crying over a losing trade or a losing day. Like, I've come on here and to be fair, I think we've had pretty much one woeful day. We went 0-2. I didn't cry about it. I didn't say, tomorrow I'm not coming back. I didn't quit. No, it's fine. Why? Because I actually have a plan for 5-10 years, not a few weeks or a few months. All right? So have that. And then with that being said, guys, I just want to show this video one more time, and then we're going to look into the market and see if we can take any trades, because as we're taking it, we can go over the strategy again. Just to give you, this was a really powerful, and I know people enjoyed it as well. The idea of just starting small and growing slowly, all right?
Everybody knows about playing with dominoes, but what you may not know is that a domino can knock over another domino, which is about 1.5 times larger. So what I have here is a chain of dominoes. Each one is 1.5 times larger than the previous one. And the smallest domino is about 5 millimeters high and 1 millimeter thick. And I will carefully place it. And there are 13 dominoes. And the largest domino, it weighs about 100 pounds and is more than a meter tall. Ready? Ooh. That was 13 dominoes. If I had 29 dominoes, the last domino would be as tall as the Empire State Building.
That's mad, guys. From a 5 mil by 1 mil piece, the 29th one would have been the size of the Empire State Building. Like, if you understand that concept, you've already won. If you implement that, then it's definitely done. But who wants to start off with a small account? Nobody. But you have to. If you want to experience, just think of that as your trading account. Maybe your account's £100, whatever it is. Like, how big is your account when we're talking about Empire State Building? All right? But you don't get to experience that if you don't do it now. If you don't stay humble with your amount now. I don't care who you think you are or what you expect or what you think you should be earning. We all start from zero. This is myself included. I'm being ruthless like this because I wish someone had said this to me when I first started, because I came in here, I chucked £1,000 into this account and I made £5,000 in about a week or two. And it was the worst thing that I could have ever done, because it took me about 6 months to actually align myself and take this thing seriously, because I just saw it as like a fruit machine, and then I went on to crash 2 or 3 accounts. When all along, if I'd just done it normally, I could have been so far ahead. All right? So guys, if you don't understand that, then there's no point. And that's just the facts. So with that being said, guys, please use like not even a 1%. Like I have no idea what to expect from this market at the moment. You know, I haven't traded over this whole time. I don't know if you have. If you have, put it in the. Have you crashed accounts? Yeah, I have. It happens, but we can sometimes be. It's like because we've done it, we almost like laugh it off and think it's okay, but really it's not. You know, like yeah, it's okay. You've done it, but it doesn't happen again. You know. Hope I'm making sense. It's difficult. Like yeah, it happens. But it doesn't have to happen like that. You don't have to learn that way. That's why this call is here. This call is here to make sure that you don't have to experience what some people have experienced. You can skip them losses. You can skip that tragedy of that feeling of when you crash an account. It's like, how do I even put that feeling into words? When you crash an account, it's like, man, I don't even know the word. It's not a good feeling. You don't want to talk to anyone for at least 48 hours. Yeah, listen, Anthony, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good. You know, and I recommend people just not trading on your own for the first month. You know, not even full risking on your first month. Just be a student. Right. Sadly, we are human beings, and human beings these days, I mean, human beings are great, right? We have the ability to do anything we want, but we just have a tendency to want to learn through mistakes, which is crazy. But that's, for whatever reason, the way we are these days. You know, we're driven by massive inspiration or massive desperation. Most of the time it's desperation. Most of the time we're moved more by tragedy than inspiration. It's crazy, but you know, that's typically how we are. And that's why it's so important why people are on the Mindset Monday calls. You know? I guess people don't have time. Right? So it's really about reprogramming yourself and understanding that everything starts from within, right? Success is an inside job. So if anyone's got any questions while we're doing this, just let me know. What's just gone on there? Where's my YouTube gone? I'm currently just going to look for some setups, guys, and if it plays out, I will. But I'm only trading with £10, so I'm literally just not messing around, but you know what I'm saying. It's up to you what you want to do. But yeah.
Wood-fired pizza wherever you want, cooked in just 60 seconds.
Wood-fired pizza, anyone? Yeah, man. You know, you have to humble yourself in this game because you can hit like 5-0, and before you know it, you think you just know everything. Like we've all been there, and you just sometimes just need bringing back down to reality. It's like, no, this is never ending. This is, in fact, there's a great book called The Infinite Game or The Finite Game from Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek, The Infinite Game. It's quite powerful. So guys, I'd actually be inclined to take this up personally, as long as this doesn't break through anymore. I feel like we're just going to bounce off here. GBP AUD for a call, a buy. Guys, just listen to me for a second because there's brand new people on here. I'm not meaning to sound like anything other than just loving, caring and wanting you to win. Do not risk more than 3% maximum. Even that, I'd say risk 1% or just literally trade with £1. All right, I'm saying this for a reason, guys, all right? And if you don't know what you're doing, don't jump in the trade. That's cancelled, guys. We're not taking this. We're not taking GBP AUD anymore. Scrap that. All right, we're going to wait for it and use this area now. Are you okay with letting trades go? Or are you going to sit here and potentially see this end up going up and then think, oh, I should have won, so I'm going to enter again and 3 more times and cry about it? All right. Why are we letting this go? Because it smashed straight through the area we wanted to take it off here. It may end up flying up. If it does, I don't care. So Anthony, this is where you have a trading plan. So what do you want to? So if your goal, guys, target, not goal, sorry, your target, in my opinion, should be 10% per week, not goal. What do I mean by that? So you're aiming, your target is 10% per week, but that doesn't mean that on Wednesday you're 8% up and you're going to risk trading the next 2 days, risk losing what you've already made, which is 7% a week. You take that to an investor, they'll laugh at you and say that's impossible. Why would you risk that 7% you've made for a week just to try and make 3%, just so you can say, oh, I hit my goal of blah, blah, blah. All right? So it's a target, not a goal. If you finish 5% up, you have the mentality of, I've just moved my account 5%. That's amazing. Not, oh, I should have got to 10%. Does that make sense, guys? It's a target, not a goal. I hope that makes sense. Nobody's talking to me, unless some of you have made the stupid decision of getting in this trade. That's all I can think of, and you're not focusing on what I'm saying. Nice one. Perfect. I know someone's in this trade. I just know someone is in this trade, and they're getting spanked right now. I know it. Someone is in this trade. There's no doubt about it. I know someone is in this trade. No, I don't literally know as in... I have a feeling then. Love to hear that, Phil. So guys, look. This area seems to be reacting pretty well now. And guess, look, so GBP AUD. Where are we? GBP AUD here. So look, the confirmations, all right? Number one, GBP AUD. So GBP AUD. The strength is pretty close, but I think that's how it's going to be for this session anyway. That's why I said really, really low risk. GBP is stronger. It's down right near the Bollinger Bands, not quite in the Bollinger Bands. We're getting an up arrow where we're below the green. So what does that tell us, guys? This market is coming up. Then we're waiting for entries. What do we say about entries? We use ceilings and floors, support and resistance. So where my green line is, I put over the top of these two and here. And look what it's done. It's actually wicked it to a T. And so far, we haven't broken below. So if we don't break below, we wait for a new candle. Sorry, that's one thing I should have said. We don't enter mid candle. All right? Because we want the initial move. If it hangs around, we can roll. If it goes against us, we can just let it go. The last thing you want to do is in the middle of a candle, you're in profit, out, profit, in, profit, out, profit, blah, 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 blah. The goal is to clear by a mile, and that's what we aim to do. Someone left the call. Do you know why? They were probably in that trade. That's a bit judgmental, actually, but... But anyway, guys, see that? We've wicked... we've wicked that perfectly, and now we're coming back up. But we're not going to enter now. Now is where I find entries, and this is where I'm actually still struggling to explain how I come up with this kind of entry strategy. Bearing in mind, like, we can see this wicked out a lot before or whatever, but this is where I switched to the broker because the numbers can be slightly off from TradingView. We lost some more people. 0-1. So this is where I jump into the broker and let it give me an entry. So where does it keep tapping into? Okay, this one is... We are slightly breaking through, but not massively yet. If we do massively break through, then I will leave it. But as long as we hang around this area, we'll use this as an entry. So 959 right now, but let's just see. We've got 23 seconds left, 22 seconds left. So as long as we don't see no miraculous pushes down, then we'll take this for a call. Currency strength me is closing up a bit. So guys, just take this easy. We're just using this session as an introduction session. I'm trading with literally £10, so just use a pound, use 1% or whatever. We've got 3 seconds left, guys. Any push down, you can take it now if you want. I'm taking it 3 minutes fixed time off. We may get a little push down, but I think we're going to take off after this one. It's showing us another little bit down here. So what we'd normally be doing, guys, is we'd be waiting for an up arrow. All right, so if we were on here on a standard session, we'd be looking for an up arrow. All right, which we've got. Guys, check that out. Are we seeing this? No, we're back. Just check this out, guys, right? Some people left the call. Now, I can't judge them and say that they were in the trade, but I've got a feeling that they probably tried to get in this trade too early. Right? I've got a good feeling that they tried to get in this trade too early. They didn't have the patience to just wait an extra 30 seconds or whatever. You know, it's insane to me. Right? This is art, guys. Clear, let's go. Big clear. No, guys. Let's all just pray for everyone who left, yeah? Prayer is important. Let me know when you clear, guys. 3 minutes fixed time off. You should be out by now. I don't know why I'm still in. Oh, I accidentally clicked 3 minutes. I would have got bang on 3 minutes. Most people should be out by now. All right, guys. What does that mean? 36% cleared. Okay, let me just be completely real with you guys. About 6 months ago, I would have entered that first time. All right, I would have entered that the first time. But guess what? I learned from my mistakes. So now, as I said, I don't mind if that had actually ended up playing out and gone up and we weren't in it. I'm okay with missing trades. Why? Because I understand the process I've been through, and life is all about decisions and consequences, right? Life is all about decisions and consequences. And the goal of life is to learn through the consequences to make better decisions. Very, very simple. You know, you touch the oven, you get burnt. So guess what? You don't touch it again. Very simple. Same with this game. You get burnt one time, you don't try it again. Or in my case, I tried it again just to make sure, and then I did it again to make sure. All right, so I already know, I've already idiot-proofed this game. So you don't have to be like me. You know, you don't have to mess this up. You don't have to lose $1,000 in a day and feel like headbutting the wall. Like, that's what we're here for, to make sure we don't have to do that. All right. So just to go over that trade, for anyone who is brand new, I know some of you guys are brand new. Very simple. Everything was perfect. So GBP AUD, GBP is stronger. All right. So we're looking to take it up. We never go against the strongest currency. All right. The Bollinger Bands, I mean, it was kind of towards them, but yeah, not inside them right now. You can see up here, for example, it wicked inside the bands and then eventually came crashing down. So it was an indication it was coming up. An up arrow, we were below, and now we're actually getting the B as well, which tells us this is coming up. All right, but we've already taken this trade. So people always say, can I go in again? Can I go in again? No. Take your win and run. Because now what? Look, it's going to potentially give us another opportunity later on. So that's that. And then guess what? For entry, our first entry was this green line, but I said leave it because we smashed straight through. I'm still sure right now that people took that. All right, but we didn't. We chilled. We waited for the market to come to us, and we let it play around in this zone. And it rejected, and told us that this is a strong area of support. All right, so we waited for a brand new candle because guess what? We want that first initial move away. Like I said, if it takes some time, we can roll. All right. Sorry, for those of you that don't understand what rollover is, there's a roll button here. So rollover down here, bottom right. There's a little clock and you click that and you can actually buy more time. So it costs you 30% of your stake, but you get an extra 3 minutes, or you get an extra fixed time off 3 minutes, so a few more minutes. But obviously your returns are bigger as well. So that's my theory. All right. If it takes a while to move, we can always buy some more time to get the full 5 minutes. But most of the time, we just want that initial push up, which is what we got. And it was perfect. Right. It was literally perfect. It moved straight away. So it works, guys. Right. It works. And look what it's just done again. It's come and tapped it and bounced off again. All right, but we wouldn't be taking this, guys. Why would we not take this? Just put it in the chat. Why would you not have taken that? Arif, don't rob the same bank twice. So it was mid candle. All right. But having said that, guys, it does work. Clearly. If we look at on binary cent, it came and tapped that area again, 1 point away, and then took off again. All right. But again, we have a set strategy and we don't waver our strategy, even if it looks enticing. That's what these markets love to do. It loves to draw your attention. It loves to bring you in, you know, but you stick to your setups. All right. Is everyone clear for that right now? Just put it in the chat. If you've got any questions at all, put it in the chat. Do you have a preferred time in the day or week? No, so I did start trading in first thing in the morning, but I found it really, really slow. And then I think it was Cam that I spoke to Cam and he was like, yeah, it's the Swiss time zone. So the market's just really slow because I was having to roll everything over. And sometimes I'd be rolling like 3 or 4 times. And I mean, it's good when you win, but not good when you don't win. So I was getting a bit annoyed. So I just found the time that we put on the schedule to be great. So that's kind of from next year, moving forwards, I'm going to be trading on my proper account on session. So before I would take trades during the day, but 6, 7 p.m. seems to be good. The only problem with 7 p.m. is at like 6, 7 o'clock, New Zealand dollar decides to do some mad stuff. I don't know what goes on, but I try and avoid NZD. What's the easiest way to pick out trades rather than sitting for hours? Yeah, I think you don't really need to be there. I mean, we've been on this call since 6. It's been 45 minutes. Bearing in mind the first 15, 20 minutes we were talking other stuff. So I mean, you'll always find a setup. It's just like, I mean, you know, I come on here normally and I just kind of look. It's just like, okay, you know, this, for example, I'm seeing CHF is stronger than AUD and we're already above the red. So this is coming down. So I kind of just take a note of that and then just look for areas where potentially it could come down from, mark it up, like put, for example, an entry point, which just to say, for example, it was there. And I just know that, okay, how long is it going to take to get up there? Or about 5 or 10 minutes. So we'll wait for that one. You know, check this one out and just roll through all of them. And if you come on a session for an hour, you'll get at least 5 opportunities most of the time, not all the time, but the majority of the time you'll get opportunities. Like this one, for example, it looks pretty good, but you can see it broke this. So the next line is here. The next level is here. So I just know that that's probably going to take, if it does come down here, it's probably we're going to need the next candle anyway. So that's 5 minutes. So we'll wait for that. And that's kind of how I do it. You know? So yeah, I don't spend more than an hour on at a time. Someone just said that in CJ. Am I being stupid or can I just not find that? CHF JPY or? Okay, yeah, perfect. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't have taken that personally because it just didn't wick down. But if you've cleared, that's perfect. Perfect, man. Yeah, I mean, everything was saying it was going to come up. I would have just personally been waiting for. In fact, there's actually a level there which it wicked off of personally. If you go back here perfectly, if you look over here, you have this area as well. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty solid. But yeah, I personally probably wouldn't have done that, although it looks good and fancy the way I've drawn it out perfectly. If I'm being honest, I probably wouldn't have done that. I don't know what I'm doing now. What's going on? So, yeah, sorry, answer to Aaron's question. Yeah, I usually just jump on, and if I'm on for like 15 minutes and literally nothing looks nice, I will just leave it. And that's where most people, that was my downfall at the beginning as well. Like I'd come on and I'm like, right, I've come on here to get paid. So I'm not leaving until I've made money. And that mentality is just poor. It's like, I'm just coming to see if anything's lining up. And if it's not, I'm okay to not trade. And yeah, that, you know, that's that. So this is gone now, guys, right? So I'd just be, man, what have I done here? All right. So yeah, yeah, this now I'd be just wiping off. I'd just be saying, you know, we put these levels in. This was perfect. It's played out. You know, potentially hoping for another entry, but it didn't give it us. So what? We just let it go and we just finished with that. We've already made money, so there's no point in moaning that, oh, look, we could have got another one. Blah, blah, blah. It's fine. It's finished. We've done what needed to be done. So this one looks interesting. Euro NZD. Euro is dead. So actually did wick this already, but let's just see what happens. We've got 50 something seconds left. There are other levels just above it though, so let's just be mindful of that. We've got 43 seconds, guys. Euro NZD. It has already tapped that area, but let's just see. Guys, let me just be really clear with this, right? If you just used like £1 on that last trade, continue to use just £1. Don't just think to yourself, oh, we just smashed that, so I'm going to use my whole account. That's not cool, all right? So Just continue to use £1, continue to use 1% or whatever you was using. This is just a chilled session to kind of get people in the rhythm again, show you the strategy and so on. All right, so just bear that in mind. That was it, I think. So we got a new candle now. I think that last little move up, yeah. All right, guys, that's gone. But we take a lot of positives from that. You know, if that had been 2 seconds later, we would have been in that. There's no doubt about it. That entry was perfect, but we didn't. We weren't. If anyone got in that, well done, but you shouldn't have. Actually, you shouldn't have, because we literally needed 2 more seconds for a new candle. But within that 2 seconds, that happened. And this is where, again, do you see this as a negative, or are you actually glad that your analysis was good? Because look what happened. Like, seriously, look at this. Man, I'm terrible at this, man. Anyway, yeah, look at this. This wick. All right, it literally tapped it to a T, and then look, no one would have been getting stopped out of that. No one would have lost that trade. I mean, you couldn't have got more perfect if you tried. So, again, take confidence that the strategy works and your analysis was good. It was just one of the things. 2 more seconds, we would have been in. All right. And to be fair, it's probably a good job anyway, because people probably would have pressed put. And as they pressed put, they probably would have got entered like down here, even though this thing will probably run. But has anyone got any questions, guys? Do you understand everything and understand like why, you know, that was a great trade, but we just missed it by 2-3 seconds? Cam cleared it. Talk to me. 1 minute IC candle. So I think Cam implements smart money into this as well. Which, don't even ask me about that. So, yeah, literally 3 seconds away from that being absolutely bang on again. So, yeah, we take confidence from the analysis, yeah? Especially at the beginning, guys. If that happens to you a lot, don't use it as frustration. Use it as confidence to know that your analysis was good. Like, if you draw something up and it plays out perfectly, you shouldn't be angry because you didn't make money from it. You should just be excited that you're understanding it and excited that you got it right. Because if you start getting annoyed about it, that's when you start making mistakes. Let's go back to it. GBP AUD. Where are we? What's the time? Right, guys. Wait, what was that? What was that? Euro NZD. Yeah, so this other line, I just saw that above it, you can see if I move this line, man, what is going on with this thing? I've got something selected. I don't even know how to unselect it. What am I doing? So, we had these levels. All right, so at the first one I marked out, which I said is looking good. Then I said I am interested to know about this one above it as well, just in case. You can see all these ceilings here that kind of line up. So that's where you think to yourself, if we don't get in this one and it breaks through, like the last one, then if it breaks through, then we can look to take the other entry here. Kind of like the first trade that we had. You know, we looked at the entry, it blasted through, so we just waited and marked up the next level and went from there. So hopefully you can see all of these ceilings here. It's actually really, really simple. It's not even that like it's not even me. I'm just using the strategy here and just found a way to perfect some entries. So it's coming back up, you know. And again, this is why we do 3 minutes fixed time off. You would have cleared that trade. Cam, do you fancy Cam? I don't think Cam will take you up on that. No, he probably would. But one thing to understand, guys, is there's people can, like, what happened in this group was so many people trained strategy left, right, and center. You know, if something's working, don't change it. Smart money takes a while to learn. But yeah, no doubt about it. It's bang on. It works. So yeah, guys, I've got to shoot off. I've got to be somewhere at 7:30. But if anyone got anything amazing, especially the way it dropped, if you are looking for an entry on this, I mean, these are the levels that I'd be personally looking at. I still think this thing's got a tank at some point. I mean, I'm pretty certain this thing's going to tank at some point. And that's what it is, guys. Like, I remember when I used to be on Go Lives, and the educator would be like, yeah, this thing's going to tank. So I was like, all right, I'm getting in now. And it's like we're trading inside like tiny time frames. That's why the entry point is so important. That's why we wait for the perfect point, because we're trading inside micro pips, or whatever you want to call it. Every single point makes a difference. And you know, we don't want no heart attacks. We want big clears, like the first one and the second one, which we should have got in. Massive moves, so everybody clears. No one getting spiked out, which will happen. You know, that's one thing you need to understand. You are going to get spiked out. You are going to take losses when you feel like you should have won. All these little things are going to go against you once in a while. But stick to the strategy and you'll be fine. So, yeah. So look at this. So I'll stay on here for this and then we'll shoot off. But I'm not going to take it either. I'm going to